seconds. There you go.
I'd just like to say welcome to all members. We're providing a video update of our unfortunate most recent flood event. Very unfortunate that this flood's occurred just 15 months after our major flooding of October 2022. I'm sure all members are aware of the severe flooding around Victoria at the moment, and also in most of the Yarra Valley golf courses. I'm joined today by Cameron Hall, our course superintendent, and Stephen Roberts, our CEO. We thought we'd like to give you an update of how things stand and what our plans are going forward from here. So Cam, I just wondered if we could just get an overview from you, and perhaps a comparison to the floods of 2022.
Thanks, Pete. So I've tried to break it down into two different flood events of 2022. The first flood of 22, which was probably more a traditional Yarra River flood. The second flood, which was historically a rare occasion where the water didn't go. This flood is definitely on the first scale, where the water came in Tuesday afternoon, reached a peak and has quickly dispersed. And we've probably got 5% of the course still underwater as we speak Friday morning. So it's very much like the 2022 flood, where we virtually had the course turned around in 2 weeks ready to go.
And Cam, I just wonder if you could just explain to the members some of the process now. I guess there's two stages. One is getting the water off the course, and then the second stage is probably the clean-up and getting the course ready for play again.
So getting the water off the course dictates by the river. If the river drops quickly, we can get water off. So fortunately this time the river has dropped. And then in the past, previous boards in their foresight have actually installed a lot of flood valves to release water throughout the course in a system which works well if you go in a particular order. So the first area we release water is in the corner of 6 and 7 holes. There's a valve there. We open that up and that releases water through holes 3 to 7. And once it releases enough water there, we can open another valve at the third fairway, which empties that billabong between 3 and 4. So we're at that stage now, and that part of the course is now empty. There's no water there. And at 12, we've got a valve in the 12th fairway which opens up, and if the river low enough, that will release on the left-hand side billabong all water through there. That billabong then catches water off holes 11, 12, 10, 15, 17, 18, 1 and 8. So members will, in front of the 17th fairway, that's probably the last area to drain because that's got a submersible pump which then goes through to the 12th billabong. And at this stage now we've probably lost 30% of that water this morning with the pumps in full effect. So everything's actually working. It's just being patient getting the water off the course.
It's actually quite a sophisticated process. I think members need to understand that everything's being done to get the water off the course. We're not just waiting for evaporation and drying out, really, are we?
100%. Yeah. A couple of submersible pumps there working, and just the gate valves are working as they were designed to get water off the course.
And Cam, I'm just wondering if you could just take us through different components of the course: greens, fairways, the approaches, the bunkers, how we stand.
So greens have come through unscathed. We had 10 greens go under. Silt was on them, so the guys have spent hours and hours doing the silt removal. We've given them 2 cuts already. They've had fungicide, they like insecticide and soil condition this morning. Just the biggest risk now is disease over the coming weeks with the silt. They've had a vertidrain in particular areas. They'll all get vertidrain next week for oxygen. So rounds are probably our biggest issue. We've got as much water off those and silt as we could, but a few areas of the fescue stayed under too long and they've been cooked. So we're going to have to oversow those areas and those moving forward. Fairways, virtually 80% of the fairways have been cut already. We're going to have to comb a few next week for the silt. 12 and 13, like the first 2 floods, are our worst 2 areas, and they'll probably be the last 2 holes to come back in. Bunkers have performed amazingly well. The capillary concrete has performed and done what it's supposed to do. They've had no washouts, no sand removal, a bit of silt throughout the bunkers, so we've started the process now, just scraping the silt away, and they'll be back ready to go as soon as that silt's gone. So we're in a pretty good place, really.
Thanks, Cam. Now, Stephen, this is your first flood here. I just wondered if you could give us your impressions of how it's all gone and the process underway.
Sure, Pete. Obviously, it's frustrating and a bit disheartening, but I think I've been very impressed by some of the infrastructure that's already in place, particularly the system of drains working throughout the course, and I think that infrastructure's really done a great job. I think it's important to note that levee banks and the like, whilst they're terrific to a point at keeping water out, once water's in the property, then they actually impede our ability to remove water. So I have had a number of members contact me asking about raising levee banks and increasing those. We've also, over the years, the club's been in touch with Melbourne Water, who are quite adamant that we're not able to modify any of the banks of the river. So I guess my overall impression is that Cameron and his team have done an amazing job. I was surprised at how quickly the water came in. I've also been, I guess, pleasantly surprised by how quickly it's left as well. And the main determinant of that was the river level going down pretty quickly, so that's allowed all of our infrastructure to do its work. I guess my thoughts now are about, well, what else can we do for the future? And it's been really pleasing to see or to receive contact from Harley Cruz and Mike Clayton, our golf course architects. Mike came out during the week to inspect the course while it was in flood conditions, and I think that's going to provide some really important information so that the board can make great decisions going forward around any future course modifications, because I think it's obvious to all that any modifications to the course must first and foremost consider flooding and reduce the damage that gets caused, because unfortunately it is an inevitability of having a golf course on a floodplain. We will from time to time be inundated.
Great, thank you. Then I think that's been a very thorough update, thank you. And the other thing is members will be wondering about return to golf and perhaps the financial impacts of this flood. I know it's too early to be specific, but could we have any sort of general statements on that?
Sure. So from a financial perspective, I think it's going to cost us money. We will need to replace gravel on tracks. Obviously we have a lot of overtime from the team working extra hours, because a lot of these things are time sensitive, and we have to remove silt and debris as soon as the water's gone to minimise turf damage. So there'll be costs there. Also there's quite a large expenditure on fertilisers and fungicides as well, to help promote grass growth and also prevent fungal growth as the waters recede. So I think, it will be, we no longer have insurance cover following the 2022 floods, and we estimate that the cost to the club will be in the order of $100,000. It may be slightly more than that, hopefully it will be less. In terms of play, it's obviously a day-by-day proposition, and Cameron and I are reviewing our options each day. I'm very hopeful that we'll have play on the golf course in some form next week. Most likely it will initially be 9 holes, and then sort of quickly after that we'll increase that as much as possible. Some of the considerations there are making sure the play on the course is not delaying our remediation works, and also making sure that golfers are safe while they're out there. We can't have golfers walking across in-play areas to reach other holes, so we need to make sure that the routing fits together. I'd expect that we'll be in a position to notify members early next week as to when we'll be able to resume play, and obviously we're all super keen to make that happen as soon as possible.
No, that's great, thank you. I'd just like to reassure members there's lots and lots of work happening behind the scenes. I think it's going as well as it could be going. We hope you found this update helpful, and we'll continue to communicate with all our members. Thank you.